much, and hello together here all in this call. I'm looking forward to see you again, or see you, but that you're a part of this next 45 minutes. To myself, my name is Andreas Killinger. I am 13 years at SEEBURGER and doing e-invoicing, e-text reader, and so on. I am also a board member of the EVER Invoice Alliance Germany. And yeah, we have some other tasks at SEEBURGER as well. We are multi-international at with a lot of memberships. For example, FAIR. This is the format for France and Germany. GINA member, Global Exchange Network Association. I'm doing IDST is after this call for me again. I'm doing a lot of international workshops here at the VER. Yeah, what is needed, what is required, for example. And you can always find me on any congresses. Here, E-Rechnungsgipfel is the German part for the e-invoicing. Exchange Summit is more or less the English part. I will be end of the March. I will be with France also in Dubai and will explain. Yeah, PEPL community. I'm doing the partnership with SAP and DSAG. You see, we have a lot of things to do what has to do with e-invoicing. Just to myself a little bit. Before we go to France now, let me just a reminder given to you. We are currently are just looking to France, but there are also some other EU countries. They have a need in the next time. You see it in 26. We are not alone with France. There is Poland, Croatia, Belgium, and Germany is coming up, and so on. Slovakia, Estonia, and you see 28. It's running with Slovenia, Latvia, Lithuania, Ireland, Norway. So what means depend on how many companies you have in the EU countries, you might be busy for the next 3-4 years, depend on how long it needs the mandate. This just for information. I can give you a deeper overview about the countries. I did it last week already, but it's just a small reminder that things get not lost because of France. What should I say? Okay, let us go to France B2B, give you some general information. Let me see what SEEBURGER can doing for you. And for very important is what must actually do in the next 6 months to get ready for this mandate. One small thing, we are not tax advisor or tax advisory. We are a middleware provider. If it's getting too deep in tax question, then you should always contact to a tax advisor or to like PwC or Ernst & Young and so on. I do my best, but I'm not full approved as a tax advisor in this case. Okay, let us start. Electronic B2B invoicing mandate in France, you see it already. It is a B2B invoicing mandate. So, and also includes, you can see it by the end, for business to a consumer transaction. I will explain what it needs during this slide desk here. Important is, it is not, or yeah, better to explain, it's not B2G. Chorus Pro is a little bit older. It's from 2017 to 2020. But the plan is to move over later if this mandate is running. We will see. And you can also see that it's not longer be able to send invoices via email or in a normal mail part, with a paper, with like a Word document, PDF, and so on and so on. This will be stopped by end of August the next time. And this I will give you more information. What can I do for you? This funny picture here, or this could be anywhere else, but not France or Paris. This is not an invite, but this is an information maybe for you. Maybe you have time. You see 5th and 6th May this year in Paris again. There is a very big congress with around about 2,500 participants. Very interesting. I will also be there from SEEBURGER side. I will not speak in France, I will speak in English, or are able to speak German because I am from Germany. So if it's really interesting, it's not so expensive, it's a nice time. Maybe you really have time. It's on Tuesday and then Wednesday. It's we get very good information there. Okay, that's the beginning. But now let's start a little bit with the certification process. Or let me go one back. You see the line here, PDP, is not longer alive anymore. Now I will only speak as a PA, as a approved platform. This is the name of the France service provider. And if you have PDP still in your head, you can forget it, but you know it's more or less the same. This is just the wording by the end. Okay, SEEBURGER is a certified PA service provider, and there's some information maybe you might have to think about when you must not take SEEBURGER, you can also take anybody else. This is a three-step certification process. The first step is to send all the paperwork to administration department, and yeah, that they get information from you like ISO certification, like tax information, and so on. If this one is confirmed, you get the second paper, or you get the second information. You must show them your technical solution. So how is your solution working? And this was to do until end or middle of January. You see 14th of January. Then you will get your immatriculation number. You see this is 0109 for SEEBURGER. And we have yeah, roundabout, you can see it here, 139 agreed platforms are validated and administrated, fill out everything, but the platforms are not fully approved. They are missing roundabouts the 30 platforms that they are fully approved. And when you press the red link, you can see who is approved, who is not approved, who is still working in the interoperability part. Yeah, this is status January 30. It's maybe less than 2 weeks ago. You see, it's very near at the yeah, well, it's not far away in this case. So, and approximately 25 operate using with white label models. What does it mean? White label models are service provider. They are maybe not big enough. They are smaller and looking for a partner. So what means it could be that yeah, anybody applied to us to SEEBURGER, hey, can we work together? This would be also possible, but this is also a small service or yeah, certification process behind. And one, you must know if the main partner of this white label model get lost his certification, so then is the white label partner lost as well. So okay, what could be 25% could lose maybe the certification. Yeah, everything is possible because with to get the paper on the left side is not a fully improvement. You are certified now, but now you have to do some progress with PwC. Yeah, this is an authority process and so on and so on. What is behind? So for this we have still 1 more year time, but it's normally just an administration part, and you can actually get this point without any problems. This is just for information before you look for another service provider. They should show you this paper, what you have on the left side, but the original one is in language in France. I translated it with DeepL. So what means the original one should be in France, but doesn't matter. If you have this paper, then you can get active. Then you can start with any project with your customers or with new customers or whatever. Then you are ready to start as an PA, as an approved platform. Okay, you see on the last one here, nearly 600,000 companies are already listed in the directory, and we have more than 4 million. So we are currently at the beginning. So that means 600,000 companies were searching for a PA. They help us, or they help them in this case. So that means 600,000 also a lot, what I can say. And there's still more, almost 3.5 million. They don't have an PA, a service provider yet. And we have just 6 months for the go live. For the go live, it's 8,500. This is maybe not so much. But I get a little bit deeper later in this information about in this directory process, and so on, and so on, and so on. Okay, you can see one again, you must be approved platform or PA service and provider, and you can nothing do by alone if you have not this paper. I got a lot of customer calls last week or the last weeks. Oh, I just need your PayPal access point. Everything else I can do. It doesn't work. You must be an approved partner here or service provider in France. There is no other options. Yeah, the big or yeah, actually a really negative point for all service provider or all of us here is this case was October 15 in yeah 2024 that France changed the model, the 5-corner model. And I think the last 3 points are more or less important. The last one, for example, is for this reason an OD variant is not longer possible. An OD, what is the OD? In the past, it was regulation like this. If you are an OD and you are, or just an OD without certification, you can work by standard. Factor X, CII, UBL, PEPAL, and so on. Then OD was enough. No money you have to take by hand, and you have to do whatever you want. And they closed this OD. What means there are just PEPAL service provider, certified service provider, once again allowed in France. The second big pain for all of us is that they closed the portal public facturation, the free exchange, what you can do, you can free of use. You see this is point number 4. The free option has been removed and company must now choose their own PA. In the past, it was so open that the flower shop, the flower corner at our flower shop at the corner doesn't need any service provider. He was able to use an access point or a portal or anything, yeah, like an open portal. They closed the portal right now. So what means every company who has an tax ID in France, they must get to active and cannot use any portal access or whatever. So like we have it, for example, in Poland or anywhere else. It's big negative. What does it mean in the picture here? This was until 15 October. You was free of use in OD and the official portal as long you keep in the standard. This is gone now. Now we have this point after the 15th of October. We have the OD, was in this case just a white label. You can see it here. The OD must engage with a PA, for example, and then they can get active. They will listen with their own name. This is not a problem. But they also need a certification, but in a smaller way, like the PA and so on. So, and the OD could, for example, also help the smaller companies with 10 or less employees. So it would help. So you see, unfortunately, it's not the best way what France did, but what should we do? So what is the regulation? As usual, B2B invoicing in France, domestic B2B invoicing, where both supplier, customer have a tax ID or doing business in France. You see French VIT, then they must do anything. On both sides, they must be ready to a special date. I will explain later. We have B2B, and you can see we have also business to consumer, B2C, reporting. These companies who have to do that, they must not send electronically invoice to people like me, for example. I don't need it. But you must do, in this case, reporting of transactions data instead of sending electronic invoice. So what means if you have contact also to business to consumer, you must do at least e-reporting of your transaction in start of 2020, this year in September, sorry. Cross-border is a part, I will explain it later. And different kind of payments, finance is also for, one second, I need to drink. And so on. So we have B2B, we have B2C, we have cross-border, and so on. There are a lot of things to do. I go more in details, no worry. I go more in details. So obligation for non-established company, if you have no VAT ID number, you must not do anything, all is good. So what means if you are sitting in Belgium, for example, and send invoice to France, you must not do anything. If you have a VAT number, then you must do anything. Foreign companies, that are VAT in France must continue to submit electronic reports, and this will be an obligation in September 2027. It will not start in 26, so you have still 1 more year time in this case. In my last presentation, I think it was October 25, I really had a schedule, a timeline here with a lot of details. I think we have all these details or these stepstones, name it stepstones, are now done. We are finished in this case, and the next big point is February 23rd. This is in more or less 2 months, correct? Yeah. Then it will start the the projects, the voluntary project, in order to see what happened really when we really send transactional data, when we really say invoice transaction, when we start with life cycle testing. and so on and so on. E-reporting option as well. And the good is it is allowed to do mistakes just to see what happened, and also that the PPF is seeing what happened if you do maybe wrong data on. And this is allowed until latest end of August. You can see it here. They are going to check the stability before September, the main launches. So I mean, you can currently do whatever you want. The data will not be checked by the French government or by the tax authority. We did start already with the voluntary fast, and we will check what actually happened. And I think the French government or the PPF platform must be tested with millions of data in 1 minute or in 1 hour to see what happened. Goes the database down? Is the portal broken or whatever? This is very interesting to see how it looks like in the next 6-7 months until of the go live. So France e-invoicing mandate, when you must do anything from your side? We have 2 big datas. I know in the past we had 3 datas, but here we have now 1st of September this year and 1st of September next year. I must not say how many employees and so on. You can read it here, and you can see at least 8,300 companies must be ready in more or less a half year. So, and we are 100 service providers. So that what means is that for every service provider, it is more than 80 projects, or customers, 80 projects, and we figured out we need at least 20 days for one project to get it ready to 1st of October, 1st of September, sorry. So what means this is a lot. This is really a lot of also for bigger service provider like SEEBURGER, we are already big, but also for others. This will be really a challenge, and these under 8 million companies must be covered 1 year later. But, and this is a big but with big letters, if you are the recipient, or better, if you get an invoice from these companies from the 1st of September 26, and you receive it, then you must be also ready. Then you can be sure that you are one of these 8,300, or better, one of these 3.8 million or 150,000. So if you receive from a big company an invoice 1st of September this year, you cannot say, no, I don't want this. I have 1 more year time. This is not realistic. You cannot do it. So you must think about, do you have big companies? They can also send you big invoices, invoices for a big company. Then you must also do anything within the next 6 months. And once again, you see this here in red. You can nothing do without a PA. You have 106 options right now, maybe 130 options soon, but you can nothing do by alone. And we have 600,000 now, and must be registered a little bit more. So they are also planned for penalties. I don't think this will be valid by this year, but it is a slide. Take it, check it. I'm not sure it will be so. I found it in the law, and let's see what happened. I don't think they will really start at 1st of September with any penalties. But when you're doing, especially, to do any debts or any faults, sorry, you do it by yourself, any faults without any repairing, then I can imagine you must pay anything in this case, any failure or whatever. Take this. This is still on approval process. There are a lot of dates. What I did not show you, I think every week or every second week is a decision by the French government, by the finance government. I can imagine next months there are a lot of changes. So the PA's commitment. What is to do? You cannot. PAs cannot only do some paperwork and then you get the approval. We are the face between your customers and the PPF. As I told you, you must select a PA. We can nothing do. And then it's the approval conditional. So what means we need an auditor process in the next year also, so that we get text approved within 1 year. By the end, we must be able to create all the formats. By the end, we must be necessary to send all the information to PPF. That's what we already did. We must be able to manage, visualize, submit lifecycle, and so on and so on. We must do electronic reporting for B2C and for Business International. and so on and so on. So with short letters here, this was the process the last 13 months. What we did to get these PA status. You see it with sending, receiving, support, the life cycle, compliance check. Compliance check is really not an easy part. We cannot check are the material numbers on the right place or are they correct, but we have to check for sure text data and so on and so on. Connection to interoperability with all other PAs. So we must be able to work together with all under 100 certified providers. We cannot say, oh no, this guy is using this. No, we cannot help you. Sorry, you must find for anything else. We did in the past. Was December, I remember, we did already these interoperability tests. Everything was working fine. We are certified now. All is good. Connect with the PDF. We did test in end of last year. Recovery management directory. We have to take care for the recovery for the directory. I will let you know what that means. We need authentication secure. We need a certification 27001, the ISO, and our cloud must be second cloud standard secured hosting. These how many? It is 12. 12 was the minimum requirement to get this PA status. And you can think by your own, can you get these 12 checks on your side? So what means you need, if not, you need a PA in this case. Okay, let me jump a little bit faster through these for the next 4 slides. You will get a slide this, you can read it later. This is what I will explain in the later with a picture. But important is to know, we have not only the yellow one on the right side, we have more than just the invoicing. And this will I explain in the next slides. What does it mean for you? What is to do on your life cycle flow? What you really have to prepare your system? What does it mean? What influence your daily work the next time? And the same for e-reporting. Are you present outside of France and have some business in this case? Are you doing business to C, B2C once again, like Amazon, for example? This is the question. And how do you update your directory, the phone book in this case? This will I explain a little more in detail. Okay, there is the difference between data flows and use cases. Data flows are by the government are 14. This is distributed by the next 4 slides. And we have, actually, it's just 12 because 4 and 5 are not valid. Maybe it still come in the next time, nobody knows. And yeah, doesn't matter. I've explained it in the next part. So this is the complete architecture. You can see here, it is a 5-corner model. In this case, similar like, no, not similar. Yeah. Normally we have a 4-corner model like Belgium, for example. Here you see 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, and now we have the 5-corner model because C5 is not the government or not the government, but this is the public portal in this case. And you can see they are interesting to know everything about your invoice, not only the invoice itself. Yeah, but let's work in details. What does it mean for you, for your ERP systems, for preparation process the next time? Let's go first to the standard e-invoicing process flow, what comes up in September. And okay, if you are ready, you see 2 and 3 here everywhere. If you are ready already to prepare your invoice in a standard, in a domestic, in a standard format like UBL, CII, Factor X, or you can also take anything else. What is other formats? Like these 3, for example, is this an EDIFACT format and it is based on EN 6931. This we have to check. You can actually doing everything, but you cannot send it by alone. If you must send it to us and we have to send it over to corner 3, for example, or opposite. We get it from corner 2 and we receive it corner 3. Depend on what way you have to do. Sorry. So if you are not ready to prepare 2 and 3, or you have just your in-house data, also no problem, then send us for sure the other data, like the be in SAP and IDOC, for example, and then we will start to prepare these invoices, what goes here from one PA to the next PA. But the way before is to check what is your recipient actually expect to get. Is this a PayPal, is this in Factor X or whatever? So we have to get in touch with the directory PA, of the PAs, and the directory is here at the PPF platform. So what means we go in there, check who is the recipient, who is the PA of the buyer corner 4, and we have the information, then we can send it over to C3, or the opposite in this case. If everything is working proper, now is our part as well, because this you can also not do. It's part number 1. PPF doesn't expect all the factor X information. PPA is expecting invoice data stream to PPF. So what means we have to take the data out. When I have in point 1, our part is to send the invoice data to the PPF platform. You see, there are a lot of things to do. Your part is actually just to give us the information when you are going to take this way with SEEBURGER. So, but yeah, in what format we will get your invoice data, or what format you expect from us to receive, or if you send the invoice data to your ERP system. Everything else we will do it. But this is not the last point. I told you we have the flows, and we have the use cases. Many can imagine you do already this part, or you check this part from the beginning. It was the plan to 2021 in France, and there was always the moment where they talked with use cases, and it was always 36. There are now a little bit more. We are 42, or almost we have 44. So now it's your question. We are not going step by step here, all the 4 slides with every time with 8 or a little bit more. You get a slide test. You must check what is a standard process in your company, or a standard use case in your company. What has to do to prepare and send data then to us. You can see it here. These are 4 slides. You can see there is everything. I have a lot of things to do. We must not discuss this. If the English is not 100% perfect, we get information just in French language. So we must translate it with a good software, and with DeepL Pro, and hopefully to get proper English, or before I had it in German, a proper German. You see slide number 4. You see also restaurant bills, toll receipts, everything. It's a use case in France, where you have to think about what can I deliver, what must I deliver. There is really a lot of things. We must not discuss this in detail. You get this like this. You should check this with your finance department. What is required. This is a summary of once again, when I'm affected, what format I would like to use. Is my ERP system ready to give us the data so that we can continue at SEEBURGER side? What format, PEPAL, Factor X, and so on and so on. I'm affected by B2C or only B2B. I am already working with an OD provider, and is this connected to a PI provider? This you have to check. What about archiving? Do you have a system? Do you need a system? You see, there are a lot of questions when we are just at the invoicing part. Let's go to the next one, life cycle. We open the screen, and the French government is really interesting to know what happened with your invoice. The invoice, okay, runs from corner 2 to corner 3, or 1 to 4, or whatever. But this is not all the information. We need more information. The French government, you can see with number 6 here, would like to have some information from corner 4. So, and from corner 4 must be at least come the information 200, 210, 212, and 213. And in some combination, it's 200 and 212. Okay, you got the invoice, and you inform in 6 or 7, you inform your PA, and then our PA will send it to the next PA in corner 2, and then it goes back to corner 1. So, and in addition, we have to send it in 2 destinations maybe. Corner 2 and corner 3 must also send the information in addition to the PPF platform. But yeah, this is, you can see the entire process, the entire life cycle process of an invoice must give the information to corner 5, and they get in combination with the tax authority and so on, but this is not our part. Forget this, what you see with 6 or 7 with the CEDAR format. If your system is going to send CEDAR format, then it is so, then we are just move it forward. And if you are not sending SEEDUR format, SEEDUR syntax format, you can maybe always sending maybe in an IDOC format, not a problem. For this, we are a service provider, we can support this. We have to do in 6, we have to send it in a SEEDUR syntax format to the PPF platform. So 200, 210, 212, and 13 is a must-be status. All the other 10 is a recommended status or status free of use. PPF can work with 14 status. And yeah, but your part as in C4, if you will be C4, you must be ready to work with this 4 status, what you can see here. We don't know it. We cannot know what you do with your invoice. We can imagine we have sent it to you, okay? We have sent it to you, but is this invoice approved or whatever? And you can also not send as a corner 4 to corner 1. I get your invoice in an email way. It must be with the operational lifecycle flow. You can maybe, okay, you can get the call or whatever. But this is the official way, what we have to do in this case. So we cannot do anything in this case. What happened with your invoice? You must give us the information. Your system must be prepared. Lifecycle flow. This is a summary once again here, what you have to think about the next time. Exactly. Okay, this was the standard e-invoicing lifecycle, what happened with the invoicing. And now we have the next one, e-reporting flow, also valid from October, September this time. And e-reporting, yeah, it's different. We can also name it cross-border. So you send an invoice from a French company or from a company with a French VAT ID. You will send an invoice, maybe not only to a PA, maybe you have another service provider partner. So you send maybe they not receive C2 is maybe a third party, and he is sending maybe from France to Germany or from France to Belgium or whatever. When this happens outside of the country, then we need an e-report. You have to send the e-report always to us. Exactly, and we have to send it further to the PPF. The opposite, maybe you receive anything from outside and we are not a PA, or it's not a PA, it's a third party service provider, then you must also, when you receive one, you must also do an e-report, the text declaration to your PA in France, and we will continue to PPF again. This is unfortunately the case. If you have business in more than one country, and one is for France, one is for sure it's France, then you must give us all the information from all invoices, what leaves the country and what gets in the country, France in this case. The second one is, or the next one is B2C reporting. The B2C reporting is for business to consumer. So what means if you send me an invoice as a private person, I don't expect, or we don't expect for sure not an invoice in an electronic format, but you must do, you must do a text reporting as well for all the company, for all the consumer customers like me or you here in this call. Yeah, exactly. This you also have to do under consideration that it's not only business to international, it's also in the country for B2C. Exactly, this is the way. But here it's not everything. In this case, it's not one-to-one. We have a special period, transmission of transaction payment data process. I'm not going to read it down. I think you get the slide. You can see when are you affected. You see it's the monthly taxation area on the left side, and what is monthly before, and when you have to send us the transmission of transaction data or transmission of payment data. Also here, the original one is in France. Yeah, it's now in English. I translated in English, and yeah, see it. But I think you know it. When are you must do anything on your French company side? Okay, B2C is just for the French part. You must not give the information if it's go to another country. But business international, once again, I is for international. So what means everything what leaves the country and what comes in the France country. This is a summary again to e-reporting, what you have to do. Okay, let's come to the last one. The last one is a directory flow. Everything can just work if there is the directory. The directory is here on the PPF, so we have to update the directory. We are currently at 600,000 and we expect a little bit more. So this update, we cannot know it as a SEEBURGER. You must give us the information either in a reporting way, or what we will have is a SEEBURGER app later on our BIS location, so you can get in there and type the new data in. If there are any changes, maybe your supplier or your buyer move in another street or new zip code or whatever, or maybe change the format from EDIFACT to PEPL and so on and so on. Everything is placed on corner 5 in a directory and has to be permanently set up in this case. This is for sure not the big effort, but we have to do that. If the directory is not set up properly, we cannot send it anywhere. The invoice, and you will not get your money. This is finally some questions that I do. So from the perspective of a service provider, how it looks our solution, it's the outbound way. When you get from corner to corner, here on our corner, we expect your data. If the data are ready, okay, then is it so like factor X, for example. If it's your part of data, we would like to have it. If you have attachments, we can also handle this no problem. Then comes the SEEBURGER world. We have a double conversion routine here. So what means first is the process mapping, second is the partner mapping. This is one of these areas here. So we have to change, we have to check what we have to do. We create the formats in this case, or we just transfer the formats if it's already ready to the other PAs. In the second way, we have to stop it here and have to send the invoice data stream in point 4 to the PPF platform. If you receive anything from outside in step number 5, we need your e-report data, we need your life cycle status, or we need your directory data, or we handle this by an app. Inbound is the opposite way. You are here, we are here the PA. We received it from another PA. We are here now the PA. We get it in UBL format, non-scan. We do the opposite process, partner mapping, and then we go to process mapping. Between we have the C-invoice, and then finally we use your invoicing data. It comes anything from outside for sure. We have the e-report here as well. In addition, you have to do the life cycle. Inbound has a life cycle report. You have to send it over, and also directory update, or we do it via an app, for example. So this is once again the summary of all this, what I said. Do you have a PA? Do you working with an OD? What I'm affected, B2C or B2B e-reporting, and so on. Do I want to use multiple PA provider? Is also not a problem, and so on and so on. These are a lot of questions, but you have to think about what is still to do, and also when I'm affected, and so on and so on. This is the summary from my side. Now, once again, a small thinking, let it be just the 8,300 companies that are affected in more or less 6 months. And we have approximately 100 service providers. Now we are 109. Okay, so what means 80 projects per each service provider, 80 projects, and we need 20 working days for that, or project days. So, okay, now I think you can calculate. I calculate here with 15. It's a little, for sure, a little bit more. This is the, at least, you see, I would say it's 20, let's see, about 1,200 working days for one service provider if you have only one consultant. Sure, if you have 10 consultants, it's 120 days. But think about how many days has the year? Around about 200, 220 working days. And the mandate starts in more or less a half year. Between we have some public holidays, we have summer vacation, and so on and so on. So you should not wait endless to make a decision about a service provider. You should go active as soon as you can. What can we do? SEEBURGER is doing the invoicing for a long time. We did start with Poland, with Hungary, with Spain, with Italy. We have the B2B, B2G, or business to text, and so on. We really have a lot of experience in different kind of invoicing projects. The plus 400, I think it could be more than plus 1,000. It is a lot of things. We do also real-time reporting and so on and so on. What we not do is SAFT reporting, soft reporting. This we cannot do. Yes, we have one single invoicing platform. We changed the name. I will explain it right now. We are flexible. We use on-premise, in the cloud, or hybrid. But as you can see, on-premise for France is not possible. It will for sure be everything in the cloud. We can connect to any systems, especially for SAP. And we have also the additional full loop of documents for electronic order, delivery documents, and so on. So the message here is, if the invoice is finished, then you start with other electronic documents. Yes, e-invoicing is just the beginning of all these. We have a lot of services. It's growing more and more and more. You see it in Europe, you see it outside of Europe. If we cannot do anything, then we will do any integration process. What means we cannot do anything? Sometimes it's the law against us. For example, in Serbia or Croatia or in Denmark, when we are not VAT register in these countries, then we are working together with partners. That's legal, this is okay. We are GINA member, this is the part of the GINA part, to working with other service provider together. Oh yeah, I forgot the flag here for Croatia, but I think everybody knows what it looks like. Yeah, we are going, let's see what happened in the next year. We are big at PayPal for sure. You see it, we cover a lot of countries for PayPal. And also outside of Europe, we are currently certified PayPal access point also for Malaysia. And we are working for other PayPal access areas for sure as well. So now comes the last slide so far, I know. And yeah, exactly. And I don't know, you have already contact to some salesperson at SEEBURGER, or you do already some e-invoicing projects with SEEBURGER, like Hungary, Italy, and so on and so on. We are changing a little bit the concept. We will do more centralization. You see it here, central invoicing service. Before it was e-invoicing service in different kind of, I would say it's private cloud. Now we do it a little bit more central or more public in this area. For us, it's easier to handle this more or less in the central invoicing service. We name it CIS in this case. So what means at the left side here, where the red square is, it's still more or less the private or the part with our customers. And then it goes more on a centralization, so that we can get faster finish any project. Let it be like France now. You see with the 20 days, this is a lot of, and so on. Here in this central box, it's easier to keep the national regulations. We can better do the reporting signature. We have more possibilities to cover in a smaller timeline in this case. So everything else, our communication servers to customer, national portal, supplier, and so on, and so we keep like it is. We are going a little bit more centralized. So it can be when you get offering from us and you get the BIS Hub e-invoicing service. Before it was just global e-invoicing service was the name before. We then don't be surprised. We will move all our existing old solution. We will move to our central invoicing service or to our BIS Hub service. Don't be surprised. It's the solution itself. It's always the same with our mapping strategy and so on. Okay, monitoring and legal archiving is still a part of the solution we cover. So, and yes, this should be actually my